Hello everyone, today is Friday and it is book club day, so we are still on The Power of the Witch by Laurie Cabot, chapters 2 and 3 today. So let's see, let me go back to chapter 2. Chapter 2 is about the old religion. Okay, so it talks a lot about the goddess in this chapter. Basically, it's probably the main point that I got out of the chapter anyway. The old religion, God was female for at least first 200,000 years of human life on earth. For witches, God is still female. From the words of Genesis, let us make man in our image and likeness, male and female, he created them. And she wrote, if it's in our likeness, then it must have female natures, or I'm sorry, feminine natures. Okay, so then it goes on to talk about the triple goddess, maiden, mother, and crone. So it's reflected in 3 phases of the moon, triple faces. Witches' spells are always in conjunction with the phases of the moon. And then it goes into explaining each maiden, mother, and crone. Maiden is a young girl huntress, and it was usually connected with Artemis and Diana. Then the mother is a full moon when the night sky is flooded with light, is represented as the mother goddess, her womb swollen with new life. The goddess of hunt becomes the queen of harvest, the great corn mother. The Romans called her Ceres and the Greeks called her Demeter. The goddess who gave birth to the god. And then it goes on to talk about the same story as in the solitary, the Wicca for Solitary Practitioner, the first book that we did our book club on, about in Samhain when he dies, and then Yule he comes back, and then throughout the year he grows stronger, and then they fall in love, and then they have a baby again, and the baby is in her womb, sorry, and then the god that she falls in love with dies again in Samhain, and then he is reborn again in Yule. So it just talks about that. And then on page 31 it talks about drawing down the moon and drawing down the goddess and pulling her into you. So I thought that was pretty cool. She talks about having a chalice or a goblet of water and envisioning the moon and seeing the moon in the goblet, taking your anthem and shattering the moon in the goblet and then drinking it. And so you're pulling it, all the power of the moon and the goddess, into you. When witches place their feet in a pond, lake, or any pool of water beneath the moon, we pull the power into our bodies. So I thought that was really cool too. I'll have to try that in my next ritual. So when I'll read that. Okay, crone. When the menstrual cycle ends, she is an elder, the wise old crone, the Greek goddess Hecate, goddess of night, death, and crossroads, embodied in this crone. Also, goddess of midwives, even though she's the goddess of death and everything, she also pulls life into you. So So witches continue to honor these goddesses: Aphrodite, Athena, Demeter, Persephone, Artemis, Hecate. And the three, Hecate, she's my mentor. I want to say she is who it's hard to explain. And everybody always, like, there's always somebody that's gonna say, oh, you're not doing this right, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, whatever. This is how I do it. And don't like it, you know, just keep your words to yourself. So, I'm saying that Hecate, to me, I honor her. She's like my mentor. I learn from her. I pull things from her. And I also, even though Hecate is my, gosh, I have no words today. Sorry. What was I gonna say? Even though Hecate has chosen me, I do have candles for Artemis and Demeter as well, because to me they are the triple goddess. Artemis being, you know, what we read before, being the maiden, Demeter being the mother, and Hecate being the crone. So I do have candles to honor them as well, and along with my God candles too. I'll show you that in a little bit. But then chapter 3 talks about what they say about witches, and it goes into the past and the present, and talks about the Salem trials, and even before that, when you know, the Catholics and the Christians would practice their religion, and the witches, pagans, would practice theirs, and they weren't hunted or anything like that. They lived in unity with one another, you know. I mean, even learned things from each other. But obviously there were some people who didn't believe in witchcraft and stuff like that, so they, you know, stood their distance, and, you know, that's okay, that's them, so to each their own. That's their religion, and you have to respect other people's religion, you know. So it talks about, like, movies, how we're, you know, like in, even though I love all movies with witches in it, it talks about how they are talked about in a wrong way and given the wrong, geez, my words are not coming to me today. I want to say personified in the wrong way. Yeah, I guess so. Personified in the wrong way, and like the Wizard of Oz, you have the Wicked Witch of the East, or whatever it was. But then there was also the Good Witch, Gwendola, you know. And then, you know, other movies, the Queen, you know, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the evil queen was a witch, and, you know, things like that. So, even in Ariel, Ursula was, you know, a bad witch too, so, and they always, witch, bad, they always come, you know, together in those type of movies. But recently they had Practical Magic. Well, not recently, it's an old movie, but, you know, more recently than before. There's always going to be, you know, Harry Potter and all those movies, which I love to watch, don't get me wrong, but they're not real accounts of what witches do today. So that's what she talks about in chapter 3, and then next week we'll do chapter 4 and possibly chapter 5. So right now I will show you, I did move my altar around, and I have two levels. My first level is for my goddess, and my second level is for my god, and I just did that right now because I really don't have that much room to put them all on one table in my room. So I'll show you that, and I don't want to show you my mess, so I'm just going to show you my hand right now until we get to that. So here we go. I've got 2 candles in the back there. The stand, there's my cauldron, and then there's Artemis, Demeter, and Hecate with my wand and my pentacle. And then I've also have Kali Ma, which if you see my previous video, she led me to Hecate. And then I've always had a fascination with Egyptian magic, so I have Bast down here, or up here. And then here's my my crystal quartz with the bell that I fixed. And then here is the goddess section, and I'm charging my tarot and oracle cards, and my broom, even though this is, you know, for goddess, but I'm charging it right now. And then I have Poseidon, and he is, oh, that's what I was looking for, patron god. And Hecate is my patron goddess. So, okay, and then I've got Amun-Ra. He's an Egyptian god of the sun. I've got Zeus, you know, king of all the gods, basically. I've got Anubis, the one that came to me in the dream, and this is what he looked like, except for he had a cream trench coat on. And then I have Artemis's brother, Apollo. So, there's my chalice in the back. That's my, like, everyday chalice, and then the other chalice is for my rituals. So, I plan on having more up, but this is just what I have today. And my next video, I'll show you my tarot and oracle cards. So, stay tuned for that, and thank you for watching. See you next Friday.